Hey guys, welcome to the Bird's Nest. Please like, comment, and subscribe for all your NFL news, recaps, and gossip. Today, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We got to break down Emmanuel Acho's, I'll say coverage of Shador Sanders. Let me start by saying, Acho has created a show for himself on YouTube. I assume that's the platform, called Speakeasy. And it's hit or miss depending on who's co-hosting with Acho. Because Acho, I don't know what it is. I'm sure he's somebody's cup of tea on his own. He's somebody's cup of tea on his own. But the majority of his audience on his own, he's not their cup of tea. And so you got to pick and choose with Speakeasy, or I do. I won't speak for other people. I have to pick and choose which shows I watch. I learned that the hard way. By watching shows that didn't have the right co-host, and it's painful to watch because Shady, who I guess is the co-host, he's there most of the time. He's not always there. I don't know why, but he's not always there. And so, but when Shady is there, every single time, it's a good show. And so, I can always watch when Shady is there. If he has some unknown person that, I don't know him. Not that he's unknown, I don't know him. I'll say that. If he has someone I don't know as his co-host, I just have to listen for maybe 5 minutes to determine if this is a show I can watch. Because he had a guy on there the other day who was kind of soft-spoken. And Acho is very loud and animated. And having that soft-spoken guy, and it was like watching Acho by himself. And sometimes Acho does it by himself. He should never do that, ever. But sometimes he does, and those are the worst shows. But this mild guy that he had, I don't know his name. I'm sure he was a former football player. It was like watching Acho by himself. He's speaking soft, Acho speaking loud. It didn't work. And I told him that. And I like that about Acho. I'll tell you that. People criticize him and they call him a coon and they doing all this. I give him constructive criticism in the comments. He reads them. I see him making adjustments, and I love that about him. I always say that. He's moderate and I'm moderate. We middle of the road. We can see both sides normally. With Shedeur, he's different. He is. He definitely, I always say, I lean more liberal. He leans more conservative. And with Shedeur, he leans totally conservative. But last night, he did the show with my fave, TJ Hoosh. And it was excellent because TJ is excellent. He can hold his own. He's very confident. He's very knowledgeable. That's my favorite thing about TJ. Every time I watch him, I learn things. That's what I love about TJ. It's not about entertainment as much like with Shady. Shady is very entertaining. But TJ is a teacher. And come to find out, he is a teacher. Apparently, he prepares players for the combine. So, yesterday, They actually had an excellent show. I highly recommend it. But what these professional guys do is they do a whole live show. You know, it might be 30, 45 minutes, an hour. And then they break them up. When they put the video out, they break it up into segments. So I watched the whole show, the live, and it was an excellent show. Every segment was excellent because TJ was there. And he balances Acho out well, just like Shady does. Well, because I watched the live, I fell asleep. I got up this morning, I finished watching the live, because that's how YouTube works. If you're on the live, if you're in it, you're just going to be in it. Like, I couldn't leave a comment this morning because the live was over. Or I could have, but it would have been in the live and it would never be seen by anybody because the live was over. But I was still in it, so I saw the whole show. It was excellent. Acho, it was one of his best shows. I think it might have been his best show that I've ever seen. He had a very good show last night, so I highly recommend that. But watching it in those chopped up forms, I guess you can enjoy all of it except the Shedeur portion. If you're a Shedeur fan, and you know, we got PTSD. That's what I say. Us Shedeur fans got PTSD from the draft, from the treatment from the Browns, and so we are hypersensitive about Shedeur. I ain't even gonna say just me because I see it, and Acho gets to see it, and he sure see it. I saw it last night because when they posted the Shedeur segment of the live, if you just watch that segment, you're kind of focused on Acho's, I don't know, I called it jealousy in a previous video, yesterday's video, day before yesterday. It seems like jealousy. Because, as I always say to you guys, Shedeur is not treated like a 5th round pick by the Cleveland Browns, or the media, or anybody. They know he's not a 5th round pick, and they don't treat him like one. But Acho wants him to be treated like a 5th round pick, and he seems jealous that Shedeur is not treated like a 5th round pick. And I still got to learn from that segment about reps. Now, him and TJ disagreed, and the guy that works at the bar, Care Bear, they disagreed with Acho. Acho believes that Shedeur should not be getting first team reps, because he's saying 5th round pick, but the 5th round pick doesn't matter anymore. 5th round pick is actually over. Like, 5th round pick is officially over once he became the backup. Now he's the backup. 5th round pick ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He's the backup. If they go into the summer, like Shedeur didn't get much development over the summer because, well, he did. So in the summer, he still wasn't getting the 5th round pick development. I keep telling y'all that. He's not. 5th round picks don't get reps. In training camp, they barely get reps. They might get, they might get 2 or 3 reps a week. You know, I'm just throwing out a number there. It's very, very low. But that wasn't Shedeur. Shedeur was getting 10 reps a day minimum, most days. He did have a day with 4 reps. I don't know what that was about. But other than that, he was getting like 10 reps a day. That is highly unusual for a 5th round pick. So Shedeur has never been treated like a 5th round pick. And Acho apparently is jealous of that. That's all I can think of. Because Acho was a backup, and he was a 6th round pick himself, and he never excelled in the NFL. And I think he's like, why is Shedeur not getting treated how I was treated? Because Shedeur's not a 5th round pick. He went to the 5th round due to collusion to teach him a lesson. A lesson that he sort of acknowledged in that statement that he put out that he needed to learn. When he said, I grew up privileged and that may have shaped my worldview. And I needed to learn some things because of that. Of course. So that's why he's not treated like a 5th round pick, because he's a franchise quarterback and everybody knows that. But he's still the backup, so he's getting backup treatment. So in a normal world, you don't have 2 rookie quarterbacks on your team, but you know the Browns got to be special and different and ridiculous and losery. They just losers. They do everything wrong. So they drafted 2 quarterbacks. So now you're in a weird position. Absolutely. If you had 1 rookie quarterback and then you got a veteran behind him, no, the veteran would never get first string reps. They won't get first team reps because they don't need them. They already know that stuff, and the rookie doesn't. So the rookie has to get all the reps. Well, the Browns got 2 rookies. And now the QB1 and QB2 are rookies. And so, as TJ said, because I said yesterday, it's not normal for the backup to get first team reps. Well, it's different when they both rookies. And so that's why TJ said he needs to get 2 to 4 reps in practice, because he's a rookie and he might go in the game. He's the backup. And now you're going to throw him in the game with no first team reps, never having played with these guys before. And so that's why TJ says that Shedeur needs to be getting Shedeur needs to be getting first team reps so he can develop. That's not going to work for me. What am I doing? Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, trying to set the cruise control while traffic is a parking lot. It's a little thrown off. But Acho is arguing him down from his perspective, and how he never got to get first team reps, but Acho's not a quarterback, and he was not a first round talent like Shedeur. And the people are eating them up in the comments, and I just have to. I wanted to come on and let people know that groupthink is not cool. It's cool if this is what you think, and the majority of the people think that, because that's just what they think. And maybe, it seems like the more rational thing, and that's why most people think it. But just groupthink and trying to force people to think the way you think is not cool. Acho should be free to be him, just like we fight for Shadeur's right to be him. Shedeur is in this position that he's in for being him. And you got to respect authority. And you could not respect authority if you want, and you can be you, but you're going to have to live with those consequences, and that's what Shadeur's dealing with. He disrespected authority. They didn't like it. They're very, very, very powerful people. Dion ain't got nothing on those group of billionaires. So they slapped him down. Okay? And that's what he's dealing with. We're going to get through this, though. But Acho has the right to have his opinion, too. Now, the consequence of that, just an opinion, is he gets attacked in the comments. In anything he does about Shedeur, because he's never on Shadeur's side. He gets attacked in the comments. And so I'll always throw a comment in there because I know he reads the comments. And he'll even act on the comments and try to adjust based on the comments, but he ain't coming off his Shador stance. It is what it is. So I haven't done it because I was, like I said, I watched the live and I wanted to leave him a comment and say it was a good show, but then it was chopped up, and I happened to click on the Shador segment, and I'm in the car, and so I couldn't say anything, but I will say in one of the segments, or if I can find the whole show somewhere, I will tell him it was an excellent show. You did an excellent job today, because I know he'd be reading them comments and maybe internalizing them a little bit. So I always like to encourage him, because I too am moderate and I get chopped down for it a lot. You can't change how people think, no matter how much you chop them down. They think how they think. It's their perspective, shaped from so many different things, and it's just different. So, but with Shedeur, it's that jealousy factor. It's definitely a jealousy factor in there for him. It's just apparent that he wants Shedeur. He's happy. He must have been happy when Shedeur fell in the draft and was a late round pick like him. Yeah, well, sorry, Acho. You're not Shador. Shador's a franchise quarterback. He's paying a price right now. He's paying a price. But he's getting ready to play. That's why he needs to play after the bye. Because he didn't get the development that Dylan got. And Dylan got all this development and all these reps. Dylan been getting reps. I keep saying 6 months. It was 5 months. 5 months of Dylan getting so many reps. First team reps. Junk time reps. Reps. And look what we got from that. Nothing. We'll see if he gets better. And then somebody mentioned on my live yesterday, what if he was on a different team? He'd look better. Everybody looks better when they get away from the Browns. So maybe he would be better. Maybe he would. I can't say for sure that he wouldn't. Flacco went and looked better than he's looked all season. So, and then actually, so people are always saying how trash they are at wide receiver. I don't think they're trash. The problem is they're keeping Judy out there, and he's trash. They need to remove him. So they do weird things that don't benefit their quarterbacks. That I think that Shedeur could work around. I don't know if Shedeur can work around Judy. I don't know. Because you can get the ball right to Judy and he go and drop it. So he need to go. But I think they have wide receivers. But they're not playing them. And then they got Isaiah Bond, and he's a rookie. But I think, is Shedeur going to be as prepared as he could be without the first team reps? I don't think it counts. I don't think it matters, because they got Judy out there. So him getting first team reps with Judy, is that going to stop Judy from dropping the ball? Somebody said yesterday on another show, that mild-mannered guy that was on the show with Acho the day before yesterday, he said, because I told y'all, the Browns were convinced about Judy based on the fact that he played well with Jameis Winston. Well, I already knew when Judy came to the Browns, he already had previously established a propensity for dropping passes. It's a problem that he has. I don't know why they keep him at wide receiver 1, but apparently he balled out with Jameis Winston. And the guy, the mild-mannered guy that was on Speakeasy the day before yesterday, said that's the only success he's had in his career. He been dropping passes his whole career. And the Browns keep him out there, and like they just do so many things to for their quarterback not to be successful. So it is possible Dylan would do well somewhere else, especially with all the development that the Browns have given him. And Shedeur has gotten development too. It's just never with the ones. And honestly, I'm going to say Shedeur is like a veteran backup compared to Dylan's skill set. Shedeur is way better than Dylan. And so I do expect him to do better without the first team reps. Dylan need them reps. If you're going to keep him at QB1, I mean, he's a backup to me, but if you're going to keep him at QB1, he needs the reps. I don't think Shedeur needs them as much. It would be nice if he could have them, but getting reps with Judy is not useful. I don't think that's useful. Let Dylan have his little reps so he can do his check downs. He really ain't throwing to Judy that much anyway. Let him do his check downs. Get his check down reps. So that's what TJ was saying. Well, so this is why I like TJ, because of the teaching. He teaches so much. And the players, they break it down. I've heard others break it down like this too, but no, not this, to this degree. TJ was talking about how reps are. They're different things. You'll do a rep that's like, I don't even have the football knowledge to say what each rep might be, but it might be passing, or it might be this, or it might be that, this type of play, So give Shedeur a rep or two that's related to passing, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Give him those reps, because Dylan ain't throwing it down the field. So let Shedeur get those reps, but some kind of way find reps for the situation that the rep is related to, that is more appropriate for Shedeur. Like, there's got to be some way. Well, it doesn't have to be, because they ain't doing it. They're not doing it. It's not happening. We have to accept it. He came out there in that Panthers game without first team reps, and he was successful. Dylan has come out in all games that he's played in. Dylan's been in 5 games now. Started 2. No. He started 3. Yes. Started 3 and came in garbage time in 2. And even with the reps, he doesn't look good. So it just is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to come and just, yeah, he's jealous of Shedeur. He's jealous of the preferential treatment that Shedeur gets as a 5th round pick. Is shoddy treatment as a 1st round pick, but as a 5th round pick, just like, so they treat Dylan like a 1st round pick. They've been treating Dylan like a 1st round pick ever since he came there. That's how he's been treated, like a 1st round pick. Hey, but Shedeur, he being treated like a 2nd round pick. He's not being treated like a 5th round pick. It's not as bad as people think. It's bad, and Stefanski doesn't like him, and he does things to sabotage him, and he's not giving him the development that he gives to Dylan. But the fact of the matter is, it could be because he's like, Shedeur doesn't need the development that Dylan needs. He can't say that out loud because of the collusion that knocked Shedeur to the 5th round, but he's not treated like that. He has never been treated like a 5th round pick. You'll see, I don't know if y'all, how much Shiloh's content y'all watch, or Well Off Media. Like, there's so much Sanders video out there that just shows their whole life. They are serious about documenting their lives, and I love that, because then when we be battling in the comments, we be having proof for our stuff. But I saw somewhere, I don't even know where this was, what media source this was, where Shiloh was saying he was getting everybody's candy order. I think that was like a regular interview with like a media person. He was getting everybody's snack order. He was going to make a spreadsheet and everything. That's how rookies, they get their little rookie hazing. And then in some of the Browns videos, like Aiden Huntington, 45, run it up. And now that he balling out, he need to get his 45 number. I don't know who wear it for the Browns, but he's a 45, run it up. Anyway, I saw Aiden like holding a whole bunch of helmets. Shedeur has never done stuff like that. I don't know if the undrafted free agents are the ones that are doing the majority of that stuff, because Shiloh was doing it. He was an undrafted free agent. Aiden carrying helmets, he was an undrafted free agent. They got other things that rookies do, little hazing. They make them do a little talent show. They make the rookies do a talent show. So I'm sure, or I hope, that, yeah, he would have to do like some of those rookie hazing things, but not the bottom of the barrel stuff that a 5th round pick would do. So, I hope that gives people some peace that Shedeur does get special treatment. They know he's special. And they know he's a franchise quarterback. I don't know. I think that they don't care about this season. I think they want to see what he has. They want to see what Dylan has. They see what Dylan has. And they're going to give Dylan... I said Dylan was going to come out... Shedeur was going to come in on the bye week. Maybe Dylan will get a couple more games, because they got... Their hard part of the schedule is past them now. It's behind them. Now they got an easier run. And maybe they want to allow Dylan to get a couple of those easy games. Well, he got the Miami game, and although... I guess because it was raining. And Kevin Stefanski felt like he needed to treat him with kid gloves because it was raining. I don't think he should have. That was not beneficial for Dylan. Again, Dylan will probably look better somewhere else. Stefanski tried to protect him in the rain, and so he barely let him make any plays. So in future games coming up, like, I thought Shedeur would come in after the bye. Well, that game's against the Jets, the worst team in the league. And Stefanski may want to let, not Stefanski's. I think Haslam's going to be the reason that Shedeur plays. But somebody may decide, let's let Dylan get this game with the Jets and see how he does, at least against a sucky team when it's not raining. Hopefully it won't be raining, since he can't play in the rain, according to Stefanski. So maybe he'll get 6 games, because then that would leave Shedeur with 6 games. And that's fair too. I'm okay with that. And the only bad thing about it is that he will not have those 2 weeks to prepare. He won't. Maybe at some point, maybe during those 2 weeks and the week after, before week 5 and 6 for Dylan, they could sneak in those 2 to 4 first team reps that TJ thinks that Shedeur should have been getting all along. Because he's a rookie too. And he needs some development because he's the backup to prepare him to play. So, if Dylan gets to 6 games, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Even if he's like stinking it up, it gives them a nice sample size to see. And then you go to Shedeur, and he'll have 1 week with the first team again. Useless if Judy gonna keep dropping the ball. So then they'll get to establish this year their backup and their QB1, if that's what they have, and then they can go into the draft and draft other things. And next season will be Shedeur season as the franchise quarterback, where he gets traded. Like, this season is like development / humbling season for Shedeur, and it worked. I mean, they didn't change him. He's still confident. He's still Shedeur, but as he said himself, he just had to learn some different things, different perspectives. I say this about Shiloh all the time. As much as they think Dion raised them to be poor, they still have a privileged mindset. Shiloh says inappropriate things sometimes on his videos, calling a neighborhood bad, and he's scared to go there. I would never go there. Or I take off my jewelry. By all means, you better take off that damn jewelry, nephew. My nephews are smart, honey, but you don't have to say that out loud. You don't have to say out loud that I had to take off my jewelry because I went to this neighborhood. Just take it off. Yes, absolutely take it off. Be safe. But you don't have to say it. There's an awareness that you should have so that you don't offend people. So they just have to learn. That's okay. They're young, rich. I love affluent black people, honey. I don't give a damn if they arrogant, cocky, snobby. I don't give a damn. I love that. I love it. I want to see all of it. And so as you get out in the world and you get older, you learn how to navigate it. If you're going to be around people who are not affluent like you. And that is one thing that Dion always trained them to do, is to be accepting of people who aren't rich. Because a lot of rich people don't mess with people that ain't rich. But the Sanders do. They accept all people. Yeah. Like, hey, Shedeur was close with Dolph. So, they accept all people. And I love that Dion raised them that way. But I just wanted to go into that because Acho was getting toe up in the comments as usual. And yes, he's jealous of Shedeur. That's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong, of course. He seems jealous of Shedeur's preferential treatment. But I say give people a chance to learn. Because even though Shedeur's getting preferential treatment, it's still not what he would have gotten if he had been drafted in the position that he should have been. But that's okay. It's all a part of his legendary journey. It wouldn't be legendary if it was normal. So, yeah. It's part of his legendary story. And Acho, get over it, bruh. He ain't you. He's not a backup because that's what his skill set dictates. It's other things. You were a backup in a 6th round pick because you wasn't elite. And you never became elite. And your career was short. Okay? And it's okay, Acho. It's alright. It's alright, baby. I just wanted to come on, guys. But hey, I highly recommend Speakeasy. If Shady's there, if TJ House is there. Oh, and one of the people in the somebody did a super chat that said TJ should be there every week, and I thought that too. Well, for one thing, TJ has a job, and for another thing, Acho said he can't afford TJ. He said who going? But apparently, he pays TJ over $5,000 per appearance. And I guess he can't afford that, to do that every week. So, okay, I understand. If TJ ever gets his own show, that would become my #1 show. Because he's so awesome and so knowledgeable. And so I highly recommend Speakeasy whenever he's on there. Whenever Shady's there. Yeah, Acho annoying. And he's moderate to conservative. And he's loud. And he talks real fast. But he has knowledge too. And he's entertaining when he has the right sidekick. And that guy at the bar, Care Bear, is not big enough. But all of them did well in yesterday's show. I highly recommend it. Maybe I even recommend the Shedeur segment. Even though I know it's going to piss people off. but it will give you knowledge about the game if you don't have it. That's all, guys. Y'all have a good day. And until next time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.